Okay, ready to dive in. We're tackling hot foil operator interviews today.
And we've got a whole pile of RoleCatcher resources to help us out. Career guides, interview tips, even a look at their AI.
This is going to be like your secret weapon to really nail this interview.
Exactly. We're going to get you prepped and confident to impress them.
So, first things first, what does a hot foil operator actually do? It's got to be more than just stamping foil, right?
Oh, it's definitely more than that. You're working with these machines using heat and pressure to apply the foil.
Gotcha. Heat and pressure.
You're also making sure the colors blend right, setting up the machines, and keeping a close eye on everything to get that high-quality, eye-catching finish. Think of those shiny logos, fancy invitations. That's the work of a skilled hot foil operator.
Okay, so it's technical, but there's also an artistic side to it.
You got it. It's a blend of both, and that's what we want to help you bring out in your interview answers.
Perfect. Now, RoleCatcher gave us some common interview questions, so let's go through them and figure out how to really knock those answers out of the park.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, the first one is, tell us about your experience operating hot foil stamping machines. Where do we even start with that?
Well, the key here is to go beyond just listing the places you've worked. Don't just say, I worked at company X. Bring those experiences to life. Talk about specific projects where you really made a difference, or when you had to overcome a tough challenge, or maybe even a unique technique you mastered.
Give them those juicy details.
Exactly. Instead of, I operated a machine, you could say something like, at company X, I was the go-to person for our most complex machine. I actually developed a new system to reduce foil waste by 15%.
Oh, I like that. That sounds so much more impressive.
Right. They want to see results, and they love specifics. And here's a cool thing. RoleCatcher's AI can actually analyze your answer and give you personalized feedback.
Wait, really? It's like having a personal interview coach right in your pocket.
It is. It'll tell you if you're hitting the right notes or if you need to adjust things.
So you can practice and refine your answers before you even step into the interview room.
Precisely. Now, they might also throw in a follow-up question like, what was the most challenging project you handled, and what did you learn from it?
Okay, so they want to see how you think on your feet, how you handle those curveballs.
Exactly. Now, another question they love to ask is, how do you ensure the quality of hot foil stamped products?
Quality control, it's got to be super important in this line of work. Would I talk about the tools I use?
Absolutely. Mention those specific tools you use for quality checks. Maybe you use a magnifying glass to inspect the foil for any imperfections, or you always run test prints to make sure those colors are perfect. You want to demonstrate that you have a meticulous eye for detail.
Got it. It's about showing that I'm not just going through the motions, I'm really invested in getting things right.
Right. You're not just reacting to problems, you're preventing them. And if they ask you to describe a specific situation, you could say something like, I once noticed a slight misalignment in the die cutting. I immediately stopped production, adjusted the settings, and prevented a whole batch of faulty products.
That's a great example. It shows initiative and that commitment to quality.
And once again, RoleCatcher's AI can help you fine-tune your answer, making sure you're conveying those qualities effectively. All right, let's get a little bit more technical. How do you troubleshoot issues with hot foil stamping machines?
Ah, the dreaded troubleshooting question.
Yeah.
Everyone's favorite. But really, this is my chance to show them I can problem solve, right?
Absolutely. Don't be intimidated by this question. Just walk them through your logical process. How do you approach a problem? Do you start by checking the pressure settings, inspecting the die for damage, referencing the machine manual? You want to show them that you have a system, not just randomly fiddling around.
Right. I'm not just hoping for the best. I'm using my knowledge and experience to figure things out.
Exactly. And they might even follow up with something like, what's the most challenging technical problem you've solved, and how did you approach it? So have a story ready, something that shows off your expertise, and maybe even a little bit of that outside-the-box thinking.
Okay, challenge accepted. So we've talked about experience, quality control, troubleshooting. What other curveballs might they throw our way?
Let's talk deadlines. That's a classic interview topic. They'll want to know how you handle pressure. Be ready for something like, can you tell us about a time you had to work under pressure to meet a deadline?
Ah, everyone loves a good deadline story. But this is really about showing that I can stay calm and focused even when things get crazy, right?
You nailed it. Pick a situation where you not only met the deadline, but also maintain that high level of quality. They want to know that you can handle the heat without compromising the final product.
So speed is important, but quality always comes first. And if they follow up with something like, how do you manage your time and workload when faced with multiple deadlines?
Then you'll want to highlight your organizational skills and your ability to prioritize. Show them that you can juggle multiple tasks without dropping the ball.
Gotcha. Organized, efficient, and always focused on quality.
Now, let's switch gears and talk about the materials themselves. You might get a question like, can you tell us about your experience with different types of foil?
Okay, this is where I can really geek out a little. Metallic, holographic, pigmented porelif. There's so many cool options.
It's your time to shine. Show them that you know your stuff. Talk about the different types of foil you've worked with, their unique properties, and how they're used to achieve different effects.
It's about going beyond just knowing the names. It's understanding how to use each type to get the best results.
Exactly. And they might even ask you, which type of foil do you find most challenging to work with and why? They want to see that you understand the nuances of each material.
It's all about those details, those little things that make a big difference.
Now, speaking of details, let's talk about the machines themselves. Regular maintenance is crucial in this field, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. A well-maintained machine is a happy machine, and a happy machine makes beautiful products.
And they're going to want to know how you contribute to that happiness. So be prepared for something like, can you tell us about your experience with machine maintenance?
This is where I show them that I'm proactive. I understand that keeping those machines running smoothly is essential for a consistent quality. I talk about my experience with cleaning, lubrication, maybe even doing some basic repairs myself.
Exactly. You want to show them you're not just an operator, you take ownership of keeping those machines in tip-top shape.
It's about taking pride in your work and going that extra mile.
They might even ask you to describe a time you went above and beyond to ensure a machine was properly maintained. Have a good story ready for this one.
Oh, I've got a perfect story for this. That time, I noticed a slight vibration in one of the machines and stayed late to investigate it, even though it wasn't technically my job. Turns out, it was just a loose bolt, but it could have caused major problems later on.
Excellent example. It demonstrates that you're paying attention, you're proactive, and you're willing to go the extra mile. Now, let's kick it up a notch. What about this question? Can you tell us about a time you had to troubleshoot a complex issue with a hot foil stamping machine?
So it's like the troubleshooting question, but on hard mode.
That's a great way to put it. This is where you pull out a story that really tested your skills. Walk them through your thought process, how you identified the problem, the steps you took to diagnose it, and the resources you used to find a solution.
It's about showing them I can think critically, use my resources, and come up with solutions even when things get really tricky.
Exactly. And if you want to really impress them, mention that you stay up to date with the latest troubleshooting techniques. Maybe you attend industry events, read technical journals, or take online courses. It shows that you're dedicated to continuous learning and staying at the top of your game.
I like it. It shows that I'm not just content with what I know, I'm always looking to improve and expand my skills. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about showcasing your experience, highlighting your attention to detail, demonstrating your problem-solving skills, and even emphasizing your commitment to quality and machine maintenance. But before we move on, I want to touch on something important that RoleCatcher mentioned in their career guide. It's about automation and how it's impacting the printing industry. This is something a lot of people are thinking about these days.
It's a valid concern. With machines becoming more and more sophisticated, some people worry that their jobs will become obsolete. But RoleCatcher actually makes a really interesting point.
Okay, I'm all ears.
They say that automation, while it does change the landscape of the industry, actually increases the demand for skilled operators.
So instead of taking away jobs, it's creating a need for a different kind of skill set.
Precisely. Think about it. As machines become more complex, you need people who really understand how they work, who can troubleshoot any issues that arise, and who can get the absolute best results from those machines.
So it's not about being replaced by robots. It's about becoming the expert who works alongside them.
Exactly. And this leads us perfectly into our next section, where we'll explore what a career path in this evolving field might look like. But before we get to that, I want to touch on another aspect of RoleCatcher that I think is incredibly valuable.
I'm intrigued. What is it?
They're AI tools. We've already talked about how they can help you analyze and refine your interview answers, but they offer so much more than that.
I knew it. There's always more to discover with RoleCatcher.
They have tools to help you create a standout resume, navigate those tricky applicant tracking systems, ATS, and even practice your interview skills until you're feeling super confident.
That's amazing. So they're like your secret weapon for every stage of the job search process.
Precisely. So stay tuned because we're going to dive deep into those tools and resources in our next segment, and I guarantee you'll be amazed at what they can do.
Okay, I can't wait to hear more about these AI tools. It sounds like RoleCatcher is really changing the game for job seekers.
They are, and it's all about giving you the power and the resources to land your dream job.
I love that. All right, well, on that note, let's take a quick break, and we'll be back in a few minutes to explore the exciting career paths and possibilities that await you as a hot foil operator. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. So we just went through some pretty intense interview questions.
Yeah, but I think we gave some pretty solid advice on how to handle them.
Definitely.
Yeah.
With those RoleCatcher resources and those AI tools, anyone listening should be feeling way more prepared to tackle those interviews. But landing the job is just the first step, right?
Absolutely.
I'm curious about what kind of career path you can build as a hot foil operator. Where do you go from there?
Okay, let's map it out. Let's use those RoleCatcher career guides as our roadmap.
Love it. Let's start with those who are just starting out, entry-level folks. What's the best way to break into the field?
RoleCatcher makes it clear. Hands-on experience is key.
Even if it's not a paid gig right away.
Even then, think internships, apprenticeships, maybe even volunteering at a printing shop.
So any chance to get your hands dirty and work with those machines.
Exactly. It shows you're eager, you're dedicated, you're willing to put in the time to learn.
Plus, I bet it's a great way to make connections in the industry, meet people, build your network.
Oh, definitely. Networking is huge in any field. And while you're gaining that practical experience, don't forget about learning. Always be learning.
Keep those skills sharp. What kind of learning are we talking about?
They take some online courses, go to workshops, read industry publications, anything you can get your hands on.
So even if you're starting at the entry level, you can still be proactive and invest in your professional development.
You got it. Now, let's say you've got some experience under your belt. You're ready for the next step. What's next for a hot foil operator? Promotions, specialized roles, maybe even starting your own business.
Ooh, I'm ready to climb that ladder.
RoleCatcher outlines some really cool pathways. A common one is moving into a supervisory or production manager role.
Okay, so you go from running the machines to overseeing a whole team.
Exactly. Or you could specialize in a specific foil technique or type of machinery.
Oh, so becoming the embossing guru or the holographic foil master?
Exactly. Becoming that go-to expert makes you incredibly valuable.
And then, of course, there's the entrepreneurial path, starting your own hot foil stamping business.
Now that's exciting. It takes guts, but it can be incredibly rewarding.
Definitely. Okay, so we've got management, specialization, starting your own thing. There's a lot of room to grow in this field.
There really is. And RoleCatcher has some fantastic tools to help you navigate all those options.
Okay, let's talk about those AI-powered tools. We touched on how they can help you analyze your interview answers.
Right, like having a personal coach giving you feedback.
But they also have tools to help you build an amazing resume, right? And help you deal with those pesky applicant tracking systems.
Yeah, those ATS systems can be of real pain. It's like you're competing against robots before you even get to talk to a human.
Tell me about it. But RoleCatchers beat the automated recruiter feature that helps you crack the code, doesn't it?
Exactly. It analyzes job descriptions and tells you exactly which skills to highlight on your resume.
So it's like having a secret decoder ring for those ATS systems. I love it.
And then they've got the CB Resume Builder. This isn't just about formatting. It actually suggests keywords and phrases to make your resume stand out to both humans and those robots.
So it's like having a professional resume writer in your back pocket.
You got it. No more staring at a blank page, wondering what to say. And they also have a fantastic interview prep tool.
Right. We talked about those sample interview questions.
Yeah.
But does the AI actually help you practice answering them?
It does. You can record yourself answering those practice questions, and the AI will analyze your response.
Whoa, hold on. It gives you feedback on how you sound, like your tone of voice and everything.
Yep. It's pretty amazing. It tells you if you're clear, concise, and engaging.
So you can iron out any kinks before the big day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You walk into that interview feeling prepared and confident, knowing you've got this.
Okay, we've got interview prep, resume building, we've got strategies for those ATS things, and now we've got this whole AI-powered system helping us out.
Oh, and that's not all.
There's more. I'm impressed.
They have this thing called Career Compass.
Career Compass. What's that all about?
It's like having your own personal career guidance counselor.
Now, that's something I could have used back in the day.
It helps you figure out what you're good at, what you're passionate about, and then it helps you build a plan to reach your goals.
So it's not just about finding any job. It's about finding the right job for you.
Exactly. And it's not just generic advice. It uses data and industry trends to give you personalized recommendations.
So you're not just wandering around in the dark, you've got a clear path forward.
Exactly. And the best part, it's constantly updated, so you're always in the loop on the latest industry trends.
So we've got interview prep, resume building, strategies for applicant tracking systems, we've got career guidance. What else could there possibly be?
Well, they also have a massive database of employers.
A database of employers. What's so special about that?
It's not just a list of companies. It gives you insights into company culture, salary ranges, employee reviews, even their hiring practices.
Whoa, so you can do your research and make sure a company is a good fit for you before you even apply.
Exactly. No more applying to a million places and hoping for the best. You can target the companies that align with your values and your goals.
So you're not just looking for a job, you're looking for the right job, the right fit.
You got it. And that's what RoleCatcher is all about, empowering you to take control of your career.
It sounds like they've really thought of everything. RoleCatcher is like your one-stop shop for everything job-related.
They are. And they're constantly innovating, adding new features, and making the job search process smoother and more effective.
Well, before we move on to the final part of our deep dive, I want to circle back to our listeners who are prepping for those hot foil operator interviews.
Yes, let's do that. What's the one thing you want them to remember?
It's all about showcasing your passion, your attention to detail, your problem-solving skills, and your commitment to quality. Let them see that you're not just filling a position, you're bringing your A game to their team.
Absolutely. And don't forget to show them that you're eager to learn and grow. The printing industry is always evolving, so show them you're ready to adapt and stay ahead of the curve.
Passion, precision, problem-solving, and a thirst for knowledge. Those are the ingredients for success.
You got it. Now, before we wrap up this part, I want to leave our listeners with something to ponder as we move into the final part of our deep dive.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What's this thought-provoking nugget?
We've talked a lot about the technical aspects, the attention to detail, the problem solving, all those important things. But there's one element that often gets overlooked, and it can really make you stand out.
Okay, I'm hooked. Tell me more.
It's creativity. Hot foil operation isn't just about operating a machine, it's about understanding how that machine can be used to create something truly beautiful, unique, and memorable.
So it's not just a technical skill, it's an art form.
Exactly. Think about those intricate designs, the subtle textures, the way light plays off the foil. There's so much room for artistic expression in this role.
It's about taking those tools and techniques and pushing them to their limits, creating something truly special.
And that's what we'll explore further in our final segment. Think about how you can bring your creative flair to the role, how you can use your skills to elevate the craft and make your mark on the world of print.
All right, welcome back to our hot foil operator deep dive. I gotta say, I'm feeling pretty pumped about this career path now.
Me too. We've covered so much ground, from those tricky interview questions to the amazing tools RoleCatcher has to offer.
And now it's time to unleash our creativity. Remember that question you left us with. How can you bring your creative flair to the role of a hot foil operator?
It all starts with seeing beyond just the technical stuff, beyond just running the machines. It's about tapping into that artistic energy, that desire to make something truly special.
Because a hot foil operator isn't just a button pusher, right? They're an artist using these tools and techniques to bring designs to life.
Exactly. Think about it. You've got those intricate designs, the way the light hits the foil, the different textures you can create. It's amazing.
It's like taking a flat piece of paper and transforming it into something beautiful and memorable.
Right, and that's where the creativity comes in. But where do you find that inspiration? How do you spark those creative ideas?
Yeah, where do you even begin?
It could be as simple as looking around you. Pay attention to the textures in nature, the way light reflects off different surfaces, the way colors interact. Oh, I like that. Finding inspiration in everyday things.
Or draw inspiration from other art forms. Graphic design, fashion, architecture, it can all fuel your creativity as a hot foil operator.
So it's about being observant, being curious, and then translating those observations into your work.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to experiment. Try different foil types, layering techniques, maybe even some unconventional materials.
Push those boundaries.
You got it. The more you experiment, the more you discover your own unique style, your own creative voice.
It's about taking those limitations and turning them into opportunities to do something new and exciting.
And that kind of thinking is gold in this industry. Employers want people who can bring fresh ideas to the table, who aren't afraid to think outside the box and push the boundaries. So when you're prepping for that interview, don't just focus on the technical stuff. Let that passion and creativity shine through. Show them that you're not just there to do a job, you're there to make a statement.
Exactly. And remember, RoleCatcher has your back with all those amazing AI-powered tools. They can help you refine your answers, build a killer resume, and just feel more confident and prepared overall.
It's like having a whole team of experts in your corner cheering you on.
And that can make all the difference.
Well, I think we've covered a ton of ground in this deep dive. We've talked about mastering those interview questions, exploring different career paths, and even unleashing your creative potential.
I hope everyone listening feels inspired and ready to take on this exciting field.
We've given you the tools, the insights, and hopefully the motivation to not just land that job, but to really build a fulfilling and successful career.
So go out there, make your mark, and don't forget to keep that creative spark burning bright.
That's a wrap for this deep dive. We hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep creating.